Cybersecurity isn't just about compliance, it's about real security. That's why I'm excited to announce a partnership between Bluefire Redteam and ARANKISH Group in Australia, bringing together offensive security expertise and compliance driven security to create a complete cybersecurity solution for businesses worldwide. And who's better to discuss this than Arun Dutt, who is the director of ARANKISH Group and an IRAP assessor. Hi Arun, how are you doing?
Thanks, Ashish. This collaboration is a game changer. Businesses often struggle to reach compliance with actual security, and together we're making sure they don't just pass audits but stay truly resilient against cyber threats.
Yeah, absolutely. In today's conversation, we'll break down IRAB assessments, again, why it's critical, and how Arun's experience as a CISO and IRAB assessor has shaped his approach to cybersecurity. I think this is the right time to dive in. Arun, you have had an incredible journey from being a CISO to leading a Rankish group. What are some of the biggest security challenges you have faced?
Looking back at my various security roles, such as the CISO, RF assessor, principal consultant, the biggest challenges I've experienced are quite a few. So to name a few, the first one is the bridging the gap between leadership and the security teams. Um, the gap between leadership and security teams is crucial. Both have their differing priorities. For example, business have business goals versus the technical threats. And if we don't take any action, it can lead to misaligned strategies and weaker defenses. Some businesses don't see security as an enabler. That's another issue that I've noticed.
Yeah.
Um, but without clear communication and mutual understanding, security teams may lack executive support, while leadership may underestimate risks. Right. So
Yeah.
this disconnect can leave organizations vulnerable, underscoring the need for collaboration and align security measures with business objectives.
Sure.
So and
Yeah.
yeah, and the other one, looking at my experience is it's buzzword, compliance versus security argument, right?
Yeah.
While security and compliance are intertwined, compliance doesn't guarantee security.
Yeah.
But security practice often helps achieve compliance.
Yeah. So Arun, I think this gives a good picture. And another a major challenge I see is, cloud security and third party risks. What are your views on that? What do you think about that?
Companies are, what I see is companies are relying too much on the vendors, like whether they're cloud service providers or managed service providers.
Yeah.
Those vendors are insecure. If those vendors are unsecure, your data isn't secure. Your data is at risk too, right? So, what I've also noticed that the organizations don't manage onboarding, offboarding, and also looking at the risks. They may onboard them, but then on the ongoing basis, they don't do assessments and maintain the relationship with the vendors to ensure that the risks to the information and data is low.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the things I've also noticed as well.
Sure. That's exactly, I think, why IRAP assessment is so crucial. And for those who might not be familiar, Arun, can you break down what IRAP is and why it really matters?
Yeah, of course. Well, IRAP, which stands for Information Security Registered Assessors Program, is an Australian Signals Directorate framework designed to evaluate the security of IT systems handling government data. But even if you are not working with the government, IRAP is incredibly strong benchmark for securing your infrastructure against real threats. It is not about passing audits, right? It's about ensuring that the systems, your processes, your people, your teams are truly protected.
Yeah, sure. That's where our combined experience makes an impact, Arun, I think. At Bluefire Red Team, as you know, we focus on real world simulation, while Arankish Group ensures businesses meet top tier compliance standards like the ISO and the NIST and accreditation such as IRA. If together it's proactive security plus compliance that actually works. Well, Arun, I think we should shift the focus of this conversation towards real world impact of assessments. And so, speaking of which, Arun, can you please share any details that improved businesses' security posture after the assessments were conducted?
Of course, sure, right? So, without going into too much detail about the companies and organizations, of course, I'm trying to protect the privacy of the company and confidentiality of the information I've received so far. I've seen some common themes around of all the assessments I've done, right? First of them is, like I said before, over reliance on cloud service providers and managed service providers. lack of understanding about the shared responsibility model, for example, who's responsible for what.
Yeah.
Right. And secondly, I've also identified is lack of documentation, right? Lack of having a standard operating procedure to ensure consistency with the processes done by the businesses or the individuals. And the third one, if I can name, would be cybersecurity incident response. They may have a plan documented, but they haven't been tested, or they may not have the playbooks,
Yeah.
in terms of each of pair types. So, and probably the last one is penetration testing, right? Which might be conducted, or when major changes are happening, they don't request a confession to be taken, right? So, and this is a small subset of the issues I've noticed. But if you look at it, these are probably the main core ones I've noticed over the last few years. What's scary though is that these gaps, along with other, could lead to a breach, right? If not identified in time. So after our or during our assessments or after our assessments, companies have derived a plan of action and milestones, or we call it PAM, all of which is reduce the risk of the attack surface significantly.
That's the perfect example of why businesses need to think beyond compliances. I mean, at Bluefire Red Team, we simulate real world attacks to expose vulnerabilities before hackers do. When you combine that with a strong framework like IRAP, you're not just checking a box, you're building fortress. So, if you are a business looking to truly secure an infrastructure, whether it's for IRAP, ISO 27000, or NIST compliance, now is the time to act. What are your takes on this, Arun?
I agree, totally agree, man. Today, cyber threats are evolving every day, right? And compliance alone won't protect you. So that's why combining proactive security testing with compliance frameworks is a key to long-term resilience, right? So that's what I believe.
No, sure. I mean, let's build a secure future together. I mean, it's always the right. I mean, it's the right time for organizations to reach out to us for a consultation. Let's make sure your security isn't just compliance, but unbreakable. Until next time, stay safe and stay secure. Thank you for your time, Arun. Today, let's call it a day.
Thank you, Ash. Thanks for your time.
All right.